Welcome to Back Bike Beat. The 2025 Honda VTX 1800 doesn't just roll onto the scene, it arrives with the presence of a freight train and the elegance of a well-tailored suit of armor. The first moment your eyes fall on it, you get that deep, instinctive recognition that this is no ordinary motorcycle. It's long, muscular, and confident, with a stance that says, "I own the asphalt," before you even hear it run. Honda could have played it safe with the return of the VTX, producing a modern cruiser with a familiar badge. Instead, they've given us a bike that respects its roots but refuses to live in the past. Every curve, every contour, every line is deliberate. The big V-twin sits like a cathedral of metal at the center, the wide teardrop tank stretching above it like a crown. Walk around it and you notice the details that separate a good design from a great one. The paintwork has that deep, almost liquid gloss you can fall into, offered in colors that suit the bike's brawny personality. Classic black that swallows the light, a blood red that gleams with menace, and a brushed metal gray that makes the chrome accents pop. The dual exhaust pipes sweep back on either side with perfect symmetry, polished to a mirror finish that reflects the world in a blur as you ride. The wheels are beefy and stylish, multi-spoked but not overdone, wrapped in thick, confident rubber that plants the bike to the ground like it belongs there. The moment you throw a leg over, you're greeted by a rider's triangle that feels like it was designed for command. The wide handlebars put your shoulders in a natural position, the mid-forward foot controls let your legs stretch without overextending, and the low, contoured seat cradles you just above the pavement. At a hair under 28 inches seat height, it's welcoming even to shorter riders, but the bike's width and heft still make you feel like you're in charge of something substantial. Ahead of you, the modern TFT display greets you with crisp graphics. It's bright, legible, and mercifully simple. No information overload, just the essentials: speed, revs, fuel, gear position, trip data, and the subtle presence of modern systems like traction control and ABS. And then you fire it up. The starter engages with a mechanical certainty, and in an instant, that 1,795 cubic centimeters, 52-degree liquid-cooled V-twin clears its throat. The sound isn't sharp or tinny, it's deep, resonant, and unapologetic. There's a living heartbeat under you, each pulse sending a small, deliberate tremor through the seat and bars. Twist the throttle and it responds with a swell of torque that comes on so low in the rev range it feels like the earth is shifting beneath you. The engine pulls like a freight train, relentless, smooth, and utterly satisfying. Roll-ons in higher gears don't just move you forward, they hurl you there. The ride-by-wire throttle is perfectly calibrated, giving you instant response without jerking or hesitation. Honda has tuned this motor to be more than just a brute. It's refined. The fueling is clean, so creeping through traffic is drama-free, and the counterbalancers reduce fatigue-inducing vibration without scrubbing away all the character. It's still a cruiser, you want to feel that engine working, but it's the kind of vibration that reminds you you're riding something alive, not a machine trying to buzz you off the seat. On the move, the chassis delivers stability in spades. The long wheelbase, the raked-out front end, and the weight distribution give the bike a planted, unwavering feel. Sweep into a fast bend and it holds its line with absolute commitment. The 45mm inverted fork up front keeps the steering precise, and the twin rear shocks, adjustable for preload, let you tailor the ride to your weight and style. Over smooth tarmac, it's glassy and composed. Hit a mid-corner bump and it shrugs it off without wobble or protest. Braking is strong and predictable, the dual front discs and single rear disc working in harmony with ABS that's tuned for progressive engagement rather than abrupt intervention. Tire choice was smart, fat enough to look the part and give loads of grip, but not so oversized that they dull the steering. That massive 240-section rear not only looks spectacular from behind, it digs in and puts all that torque to the ground without breaking loose unless you really provoke it. The front's 130 section strikes a balance between cruiser stance and steering input, so you're not wrestling it at low speeds. Ride modes add depth to the personality. Tour mode is the all-day setting. Smooth throttle mapping, gentle engine braking, and relaxed power delivery that keeps you comfortable over distance. Sport tightens the reins, sharpening throttle response and letting you access the engine's aggression with less wrist movement. Rain mode tones it all down, engaging traction control earlier and softening throttle inputs to help you stay in control when the roads turn slick. You don't have to think about these modes, you feel them, and they become part of the way you approach different rides. Out on the open road, the VTX 1800 feels unstoppable. It's the kind of bike that makes you want to seek out the long way home just to spend more time in the saddle. The wind rush over the low screen is clean, the engine note is a steady companion, and the torque on tap means you rarely need to downshift. Overtakes are a twist-and-go affair, with no drama, just a surge forward and a return to a deep, relaxed lope. Fuel economy isn't going to set records, but with a tank that holds enough for decent range, you can put serious miles behind you before needing a break. City riding is more manageable than you'd expect. Yes, it's big, and yes, you'll feel its width in traffic, but the low-speed stability and smooth fueling make it less intimidating than its size suggests. The clutch action is light for a big twin, and the gearbox shifts with a solid, mechanical click. First is tall enough to keep you from constantly upshifting in slow zones, but short enough to get you moving with authority when the light goes green. The design keeps rewarding close inspection. The LED headlamp is framed in a brushed housing that nods to classic round units but delivers a crisp, white beam at night. The rear end is clean and modern, with integrated lighting that doesn't detract from the broad rear fender's shape. Chrome is used with restraint enough to flash under the sun, not enough to blind you. It's a bike that looks equally at home parked in front of a diner at midnight or rolling into a bike night full of Harleys and Indians. For those who want more practicality, Honda's accessories hit the sweet spot. You can add locking saddlebags that integrate seamlessly, a touring screen for better wind protection, heated grips for cold weather, and passenger accommodations that turn it from a solo muscle cruiser into a two-up highway machine. The aftermarket will no doubt explode with options for pipes, seats, and trim, but the stock setup is already polished and satisfying. What makes the 2025 VTX 1800 special is the way it blends its identity. It's not a nostalgic throwback that happens to have fuel injection. It's a modern motorcycle with genuine heritage. You get the brute force and commanding presence of a muscle cruiser, but with the sophistication of traction control, ABS, selectable ride modes, and a display that actually earns its keep. You get a bike that can rip down a canyon road in sport mode in the morning, cruise comfortably on the highway all afternoon, and roll up to a gathering in the evening looking like the baddest machine in the lineup. Pricing hasn't been set in stone, but most expectations put it between $20,000 and $25,000, depending on trim and accessories. That puts it right in the ring with heavyweight cruisers from Harley, Indian, and Triumph, but Honda's combination of reliability, engineering precision, and lower maintenance demands will be a strong draw for riders who want the experience without the drama. At the end of the day, the 2025 Honda VTX 1800 is a motorcycle for riders who want their bike to be more than transportation. It's for people who see riding as an event, something that starts the moment you swing a leg over and doesn't end until you park it and turn back to admire it one more time. It's for those who believe a motorcycle should have a voice, a feel, a presence that makes every ride memorable. And in that mission, the VTX 1800 succeeds without compromise.